What if your biggest financial problem isn't that you don't make enough money? What if the bigger problem is that every dollar you earn already has somewhere to go? You receive your paycheck. You pay rent. You buy food. You pay transportation. You pay bills. You make debt payments. You handle a few unexpected expenses. And suddenly the money is gone. Then you wait for the next paycheck. The next month starts, and the exact same thing happens again. This is the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle, and millions of people experience it. You can earn a small income and struggle with it, but you can also earn a much higher income and still live paycheck to paycheck, because the problem isn't always the size of the paycheck. Sometimes the problem is the relationship between income, spending, debt, and lifestyle. The good news is that this cycle can be broken. It may not happen overnight, but with the right strategy, you can gradually move from surviving one paycheck at a time to building financial stability. In this video, we're going to go through a practical step-by-step plan to help you escape the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle. Let's begin. Step 1. Admit that you have a cash flow problem. The first step is uncomfortable. You need to be honest about your financial situation. Don't look at your bank balance and simply say, "I don't have enough money." Ask a better question. Where is my money actually going? Take your income for the last month. Then write down every major expense: rent, food, transportation, utilities, debt payments, subscriptions, entertainment, shopping, family support, business expenses, everything. Don't leave out small purchases. That $5 purchase might seem irrelevant, but when repeated many times, small expenses become significant. Your goal isn't to feel guilty. Your goal is to understand your cash flow, because you can't fix a problem you refuse to measure. Step 2. Separate needs from wants. This is one of the most important financial skills you can develop. There are things you need, and there are things you want. Housing is a need. Food is a need. Basic transportation may be a need. Electricity may be a need. But eating at expensive restaurants every week is usually a want. The newest phone may be a want. Designer clothing may be a want. Constant entertainment may be a want. And there's nothing wrong with having wants. The problem occurs when your wants consume the money you need for your financial future. So before buying something, ask, do I need this right now, or do I simply want it? That one question can prevent hundreds of unnecessary purchases. You don't have to eliminate every luxury. You just need to stop treating luxuries like necessities. Step 3. Create a small emergency fund. If you are living paycheck to paycheck, even a small emergency can destroy your budget. Imagine your car breaks down, or your phone stops working, or you suddenly need medical care, or your income is delayed. Without savings, you may have to borrow money. And now the emergency creates debt. That's how financial problems multiply. This is why your first savings goal should be creating a small emergency fund. Don't worry about building 6 months of expenses immediately. Start with something realistic. Maybe your first goal is $50, then $100, then $250, then eventually you can work towards several months of essential expenses. The exact target depends on your situation. The important thing is creating a buffer between you and financial emergencies. Even a small amount can give you breathing room. Step 4. Stop using debt to pay for your lifestyle. Debt can make you feel richer than you actually are. You see something you want. You don't have enough cash. So you borrow. You buy it. For a moment, everything feels fine. But next month, your income has another obligation attached to it. Then another purchase creates another payment. Eventually, a large part of your future income is already committed before you even receive it. That's dangerous, especially when the debt carries high interest. If you're trying to escape the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle, you need to reduce the number of financial obligations competing for your income. Focus particularly on expensive consumer debt. Make a plan. Pay it down. Avoid adding unnecessary balances while you're trying to get out. The goal is to make your future paycheck belong more to you. Step 5. Lower your biggest expenses. People often focus on tiny expenses. They say, stop buying coffee. And yes, reducing unnecessary small expenses can help. But your biggest savings opportunities are often found in your largest expenses: housing, transportation, debt, food, insurance, recurring bills. If your housing costs consume a huge percentage of your income, saving a few dollars on snacks won't solve the problem. If your vehicle costs you too much every month, cutting small purchases won't completely fix your cash flow. So look at your largest expenses first. Ask, can I reduce my housing cost? Can I lower transportation costs? Can I refinance or eliminate expensive debt where appropriate? Can I reduce unnecessary recurring bills? One major improvement can sometimes have a bigger impact than dozens of tiny cuts. Step 6. Build a do not touch account. Here's a simple strategy. Create a separate savings account for your emergency fund and financial goals. The purpose is to create psychological separation. If your emergency savings are sitting beside your everyday spending money, it can be tempting to use them. But when the money is separated, you create a barrier. Every time you receive income, transfer a predetermined amount into that account. It doesn't have to be huge. The important thing is consistency. You are training yourself to save before you spend. Eventually, saving becomes automatic. And when saving becomes automatic, you don't have to depend on motivation every month. Step 7. Stop increasing your lifestyle every time your income increases. This is one of the biggest reasons people remain broke even after getting raises. They earn more. Then they spend more. Imagine someone earns $1,000 a month. They get a raise and start earning $100 to $300. Instead of saving the additional $300, they upgrade everything. More expensive apartment, more expensive phone, more expensive car, more restaurants, more entertainment. Now they're earning more but still have nothing left. This is called lifestyle inflation. If you want to escape the paycheck to paycheck cycle, don't allow every income increase to become a spending increase. When your income rises, allow your financial position to improve too. Increase your savings, pay down debt, invest appropriately. Build a business, develop your skills, then use some of the remaining income to enjoy life. You should benefit from earning more, but don't let lifestyle inflation consume the entire benefit. Step 8. Find a way to increase your income. Now we reach the other side of the equation. There's only so much you can cut. Eventually, you need to increase your income. Ask yourself, what can I do that could make me more valuable? Maybe you can learn a trade. Maybe you can develop a technical skill. Maybe you can learn sales. Maybe you can improve your communication. Maybe you can learn video editing. Maybe you can learn graphic design. Maybe you can repair phones. Maybe you can cook. Maybe you can offer cleaning services. Maybe you can start a small local business. The specific skill depends on your situation, but the principle is simple. Increase your ability to create value. If you can increase your income while keeping your lifestyle controlled, you create a much larger gap between income and expenses. And that gap is where wealth begins. Step 9. Create a second source of income. You don't necessarily need a second job. You need another way to create income. That could be a small business, a service, freelance work, selling products, consulting, repair work, tutoring, photography, editing, cooking, construction, or another legitimate opportunity. Start small. Your first goal might be an extra $50 a month, then $100, then $200. Don't underestimate small amounts. An extra $100 can help pay a bill. An extra $200 can accelerate debt repayment. An extra $300 can help build savings. And as your skills improve, your additional income can potentially grow. The goal is to create more financial breathing room. Step 10. Give every extra dollar a job. Suppose you finally have $200 left over at the end of the month. Don't let it disappear. Give it a job. Maybe $100 goes toward your emergency fund. Maybe $50 goes toward debt. Maybe $30 goes toward developing a skill. Maybe $20 is available for something enjoyable. The exact numbers aren't important. What matters is having a plan. Because unplanned money tends to get spent. Planned money gets directed toward goals. Your income should have a purpose before it arrives. Step 11. Use the 30-day reset. If your finances are out of control, try a 30-day reset. For 30 days, avoid unnecessary purchases. No impulse shopping. No unnecessary upgrades. No random online orders. Reduce eating out. Cancel subscriptions you're not using. Avoid unnecessary entertainment spending. Focus on essentials. At the same time, track every dollar. The goal isn't to live like this forever. It's to create awareness. At the end of 30 days, calculate how much money you saved. Then decide which changes should become permanent. You might discover that some things you thought you needed were actually habits. Step 12. Build a financial ladder. Here's a simple way to think about your financial journey. Don't try to jump from being broke to being rich. Climb one level at a time. Level 1. Stop the financial bleeding. Spend less than you earn. Level 2. Build a small emergency fund. Create a financial cushion. Level 3. Eliminate expensive debt. Reduce the amount of income going toward interest. Level 4. Increase your income. Develop valuable skills and additional income sources. Level 5. Build larger savings. Create stronger financial security. Level 6. Invest appropriately. Put some capital toward long-term growth. Level 7. Build assets. Own things that can potentially create value or income. This process takes time, but every level gives you more financial stability. What if you're starting with almost nothing? Maybe you're watching this and thinking, I don't even have enough money to save. If that's your situation, don't focus on investing right now. Focus on survival and income. Make sure your essential needs are covered. Reduce unnecessary expenses. Look for opportunities to increase your income. Learn a valuable skill. Find additional work. Build a small service. The order matters. If your income doesn't cover your basic needs, your first financial goal should be increasing your financial capacity. You don't need to feel ashamed about starting small. Everybody starts somewhere. The most important mindset shift. Here's the mindset shift that can change everything. Stop thinking, how can I make it to the next paycheck? Start thinking, how can I make sure I don't need my entire next paycheck? That's a completely different goal. The first mindset is survival. The second is financial progress. Eventually, you want to reach a point where your emergency fund can handle unexpected expenses. Then a point where you have investments, then assets, then multiple sources of income. And eventually, your financial life becomes less dependent on a single paycheck. That's the destination. Your 90-day escape plan. Let's make this practical. For the next 30 days, track every expense. Separate needs from wants. Cancel unnecessary recurring expenses. Stop unnecessary borrowing. And create your first savings target. For days 31 through 60, focus on paying down expensive debt. Continue building your emergency fund. And start learning one valuable income-producing skill. For days 61 through 90, start looking for ways to monetize that skill. Find additional income. Keep your lifestyle controlled. And direct the extra money toward your financial goals. After 90 days, don't stop. Repeat the process. Improve it. Increase your income. Reduce your financial obligations. Build savings. Then begin investing when your foundation is strong enough and the investments are appropriate for you. Final message. Escaping the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle doesn't happen because you suddenly become rich. It happens because you gradually create financial breathing room. You spend less than you earn. You build savings. You reduce expensive debt. You control lifestyle inflation. You increase your income. You create additional sources of income. And eventually you start building assets. At first, the progress may look small. Maybe you save your first $50, then $100, then $500. Maybe you pay off one debt, then another. Maybe you earn your first extra $100 from a side skill, then $500, then more. These small victories matter because financial freedom isn't created by one giant decision. It's created by hundreds of small decisions repeated consistently. So if you're currently living paycheck to paycheck, don't tell yourself, I'm going to become rich next month. Tell yourself, I'm going to make sure my financial situation is better 3 months from now than it is today. Then do it again and again, because eventually those small improvements can create a completely different financial life. Your goal isn't simply to survive the next paycheck. Your goal is to build a life where your money gives you choices, security, and freedom. Start today. Track your money. Cut what you don't need. Save what you can. Increase what you earn. And build toward a future where you are no longer waiting for the next paycheck to determine what happens next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.